Hello and welcome back, everyone, to Legacy of the Duelist on Rocket Rabbit Commentaries. And in this episode, we're continuing on with Season 2 of Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds with Carly Carmine, the reporter. And she's managed to sneak herself into the Arcadia Institute, and Sayer is not having that.
Now you know too much.
Yeah.
That means I'm gonna have to duel you.
Yeah, from this point on, it becomes blatantly obvious to the viewers that Sayer, yeah, he's being an abusive dickhead, and we are not supposed to like him from here on. And this is a problem because he's actually one of the more powerful duelists at this point, even though this variant of his deck is actually pretty bad.
Oh God! Historically, Sayer wins this game. And we're gonna show you how.
Right. Use Side Station in order to increase the level and power of Krebins. All right. Now, Carly is actually running a very powerful deck, as Annotations Gerda mentions here. Yes. Fortunately, the archetype is honestly one of the most consistent draw engines to splash into virtually anything that you want want to play with it. Specifically because, fortunately, the water is relatively easy to special summon, especially if you're using Future Visions, the field spell, which will effectively allow it to go off at least once every turn.
X-ray visions. Oh jeez, now I got the psychic
There's
warfare
Future
on the
Visions. And the Fortune Ladies in general all have when banished effects. So Carly can do this. Specifically, special summon Fortune Lady Earth off of Light's banishment effect.
Oh, that's it. That's right. The Fortune Lady monsters all get attack and defense based on their level, and then they modulate their level in order to make themselves really powerful.
Yep.
Gotcha.
All right. Now, we'll probably use Side Station in order to steroid Borg, except we shouldn't, because Future Visions knocks it away. Thankfully, we've actually got Krebins already on the field, so we effectively have a decent amount of stall available for us if we need to do so. Unfortunately, Future Visions effectively turns off Side Station, so.
First thing that I did was buy a pack of spokes. Check into a motel and consult my horoscope.
I wouldn't say that Carly is actually all that tied to horoscope specifically.
No, not Carly. More Sayer.
Sayer? No, because Sayer. I will grant that Sayer is, is presented as the rather clean and posh psychic presenter, but he very specifically would not be doing horoscope shit.
Before I could complete it, I was quickly overtaken by the angry spirits of Ronald and Nancy Reagan. Rancy. It's Nancy Reagan, silly cloud. The most powerful first lady in the history of the United States of America.
Alright, so Fortune Lady Wind blows up both of our back row because there's two Fortune Ladies out. And then Dark
dear.
And then Dark is going to kill our reinforced Psychic Borg.
Yep,
then
increase
use Dark's
the target's
effect in
level
order
by
to special
3.
summon Fortune Lady Water. Use Water as a special summon effect to draw 2.
Jesus. You talk about a swing.
All right. So, can we? Yes,
can't.
actually, we've got two psychic monsters in our graveyard, so we can actually
Damn right.
we can actually pump a Psychic Borg up in order to take down Fortune Lady Dark, and then we can normal summon. Then we can normal summon Psychic Commander in order to use his effect next turn.
Because Psychic Borg has one of those rare up to twice per turn effects.
Yes.
Because they decided that letting you use the effect only once is not enough, but letting you use the effect 3 or more times is too much.
It would be too much because, if you use it 3 times, then what are you supposed to use your Psychic Teleportation for?
Well, I mean, for goodness sake, we're not talking about Dark-Armed Dragon here.
For the record, Dark Arm Dragon doesn't actually have a limitation on it like that. So.
Oh Jesus! I think we just lose now.
She's gonna need the ability to bring out. She's gonna need the ability specifically to bring out another fire. Do you think she's got another fire?
Yes.
No. What makes you think that she's got another fire?
Her glasses.
All right. So we'll spend 200 life points here, right? Yeah, 200 life points in order to kill Wind.
Huh. Sure. Well, talk about a bonehead blunder. Oh, geez, we can't use psychokinesis because we don't have enough life points.
Yeah, and as Annotations Gurdet mentions here, this is one of the primary problems that ends up happening with the smaller pieces of the psychic monsters. You end up spending your life points in small amounts, but enough times to where you end up getting burnt by it too much.
Well, okay, so it looks to me that because we just drew into emergency teleport, we can get Thought Ruler Archfiend.
We could, but I think we're actually going to go for Magical Android instead. Yeah, we're going for Magical Android.
Because Magical Android also has a recover life points ability.
And we can't attack with Thought Ruler Archfiend this turn anyway, so Magical Android is safer.
Right. Through the end phase, gain 600 life, right, and then we gain 1,200 life points.
Yep.
Very nice.
Meaning that next turn we can use Psychokinesis on her face down.
Nice.
This is actually one of the more interesting things that happens throughout the 5Ds campaign. In that, quite suddenly, now the decks that we're actually playing with are strong enough and well realized enough on their own to where we don't actually have to, use slow burn against everyone. Have you noticed that we haven't needed to switch out since the end of the Fortune Cup?
Well, now that you mention it, by this 40th episode of Rock Rabbit Commentaries, playthrough of Legacy of the Duelist, a Konami product and video game, this is the longest string of consecutive games when we actually won the historic duel on our first try.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing, honestly. Good. Let's put slow burn on the back burner for a second and just concentrate on what the game is trying to tell us about the canon, the characters, and the cards.
Alright, so she used Slip of Fortune in order to stay alive this turn. And now we are slowly building up our life point lead. Haha.
Thank God. I can see the future. Though the present looks bleak, my future is bright and full of life points.
Oh, look, Snail.
Snail.
Alright, Snail. Do the thing. Can't. Damn it.
X-ray visions.
Alright, Krebins. And Krebins wins us the game against Carly. Yay! And now terrible things happen.
Oh, wow, she took her glasses off, and her eyes are gray.
Okay. So Infobot didn't actually explain to us what exactly just happened there. Sayer kicked Carly Carmine out the fucking window.
She was absorbed in a purple mist.
Yeah, because death is not a
pissed.
thing that we're supposed to have in a children's show. She gets absorbed by the Shadow Realm and then gets spit out as a Dark Signer. Yeah, specifically,
Right.
Specifically, she ends up being the herald for the Hummingbird Earthbound Immortal.
Gotcha. Because in Yu-Gi-Oh, you don't die, you have your soul captured.
Yes.
In Yu-Gi-Oh, you don't go to hell, you go to the Shadow Realm.
Which is hell, but it's just called something different. And here is our third Dark Signer, Divok, who is effectively angry for the same reason that Gregor is, oddly enough. Hey Rex, we're all of a sudden got 3 of the Dark Signers showing up. You want to try and explain that? And here is where he's actually explaining that the Dark Signers are tied to the Nazca lines, specifically because the Nazca lines are, in fact, the Earthbound Immortals themselves. The lore behind the Earthbound Immortals is actually very confusing. It's much better explained in the anime itself, and we barely cover bits and pieces of it here. But suffice it to say, Satan exists in Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds.
Satan. That's funny.
And it's not even that much of an exaggeration either. Red Dragon Archfiend very specifically is a servant of Satan.
Well, to bring our viewers up to speed who may not be privy to the abilities of the Earthbound Immortals, all of the Earthbound Immortals are high-level, high-stat monsters that require that you have an active field spell on the field at all times, but they all have the ability that they can attack your opponent directly.
I think we actually show off us losing to Devok here. I think. Because I recall that my first time going through this, Devok was actually one of the more difficult ones for me to do. You may be wondering why he actually has a tuner monster. Well, Devok is actually running two different styles of deck here. He's running specifically an Earthbound Immortal deck focused on using the Ape Earthbound Immortal. I forget what one. Isn't it Sipek Apu? No, it's not. It's not Sipek Apu. Sipek Apu is the Goliath. The ape is the monkey one. I forget what the fuck its name is. But the other thing that Devok's deck is actually showing off is actually the Dark Synchro Zim on the Ape King, and. Annotations Grid was attempting to explain to us that this duel wants us to use Gadget Hauler, specifically in order to run over both Zim the Ape King and the Earthbound Immortal. It's Cthulhu, right? I think it's Cthulhu.
The thing about the Earthbound Immortals is that they all have the prefix Earthbound They all have the prefix Earthbound Immortal in their names. The thing about their names, though, is that they're so hard to pronounce because they're not in plain English that I can't even remember them all that well.
Oh, come on. Roska's not that difficult. Silopisku's not that difficult. Sipek Apu's not that difficult. And then the rest of them, you can just remember them by their animals, specifically whale and monkey.
How do you know it's not a Skilopisku?
There isn't an I.
But in some cases, C can be treated as the letter K when an English phonetic speaker is reading the title.
I don't think South American languages use the letter K.
I don't think South American languages had much to do with the creation of the Earthbound Immortal Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG monsters.
They better have. After all, they're based specifically on the South American Nazca lines.
Oh, and look at that. We got 3 monster cards in our graveyard, so Bazoo is ready to kick you in the canoe.
Except he's got Call of the Haunted in order to bring back... Yep, Phantom
a
King
weak-ass monster. Replay happens. Well, the monster we originally tried attacking with its all 100 attack, has been stopped.
Alright, boombox him. Hit him twice. Come on. Yay! We might actually beat Devok this time. Yeah, you can have your 1,000 life points back with Snatch Steal.
Ah, crap.
No, he blew up his own monster with Smashing Ground Cloud. We're fine. Especially because we just got Radion.
And we just win at this point, don't we? Oh, good. You had me in suspense for a second, which is good. I love suspense.
Alright. So, Devok, so we have successfully defeated Devok, and, yeah. In the next episode, we'll continue on with Season 2 of Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. Ooh, Green Baboon! Be safe, everybody.